Now, my friends at xinjiangauto.com in China. Watch out, Thomas Geiger, and this is the new Volkswagen T-Cross, the smallest SUV in the lineup of Volkswagen. Based on the Volkswagen Polo, it will come on the market during this summer. And if you want to know what to expect from that vehicle that competes against Renault Capture, Peugeot 2008 and all the other small compact SUVs, join me on my first test drive and I'll tell you more about it. Talking about the engines, the T-Cross will be available with 3 petrol engines for the start, 2 1-liter 3-cylinders delivering 95 and 115 horsepower, and 1 1.5-liter 4-cylinder with 150 horsepower. And for the markets that still are into diesel, there will be a diesel with 95 horsepower as well. Driving the T-Cross is not the most exciting experience. It's a small Volkswagen. What do you expect? It is looking like an R model because we're driving the R line, but it is the base standard model. But nevertheless, for a car of that size, it feels pretty mature and confident. That's the positive side of this somehow boring, very comfortable setup of the vehicle. What is missing at the vehicle is a 4x4 system. The T-Cross will be the first SUV from Volkswagen only driven by the front wheels. Something else that is missing, that is an alternative powertrain. We're not talking about mild hybrid, real hybrid, plug-in hybrid or even electrification. Technology-wise, it would be possible, but Volkswagen thinks the market is not mature enough and the price is still too high to make that affordable. The only alternative propulsion system that is at least in the talks is a CNG version powered by natural gas. The cockpit of the T-Cross seems pretty familiar from the Polo, at least the main components. We have the active info display, digital cluster instrument behind the steering wheel, and we have the big touchscreen in the center console. But the layout is a bit different than we know it from the Polo. Especially the consoles are more fancy, there are more details, it is just a bit more attractive, a bit younger, a bit more modern than we know it from the very conservative Polo. Usage is pretty easy, it's all touch and go. You can easily switch between navigation, infotainment, you have your car set up here, you have an app system, you can integrate your smartphone with Android Auto, MirrorLink or Apple CarPlay, and due to a Wi-Fi hotspot, the car is always on if you want to. The T-Cross is equipped with lots of driver assistance systems, some of them for an extra charge, but pretty impressive how big the support is that technology delivers in a small car like that. We have lane departure warning, we have blind spot assistance, we have a city brake assist that also recognizes pedestrians, and we have an adaptive cruise control that's keeping the distance to the car in front of you. For a car of that size, the T-Cross is really roomy due to one only reason, the slidable rear bench, because you can slide the rear bench for 15 centimeters forward and backward and adjust your knee or your trunk space with it. In the standard configuration, it has 385 liters of trunk space. Same as a Volkswagen Golf, for example. If you slide forward, you'll gain about 70 liters and you're adding to 455 liters. If that's still not enough, you can also fold the passenger seat and load long gear. Or you can sit pretty comfortable by leaning back and enjoying not the most legal way, but a very comfortable way of sitting. The T-Cross is based on the platform of the Polo, internally called MQB A0, but it is 12 centimeters longer than the Polo, nevertheless 12 centimeters shorter than the big brother T-Roc. So it's 4 meters 23 with a wheelbase of 2 meters 56. The design is typically Volkswagen, not too fancy, but not as boring as we know it from the Polo. And you have lots of colors to spicen up the vehicle. 12 exterior colors, B-color schemes, B-color wheels, everything available to make the car more fancy and to stand out of the crowd. And if you go to the back, you will realize one nice detail that they figured out, the rear light. As we know it from Audi and the other luxury brands of the Volkswagen Group, the rear light is going over the whole back, not lit up, just with a reflecting bar, but nevertheless an interesting detail to make the car standing out of the crowd. Thanks for joining me on that first review with the new Volkswagen T-Cross, a car that definitely will move up the segment and spice up the competition, because it looks great and fancy if you take the interesting colors. It is very versatile and roomy, and it drives pretty good, and the equipment level is very high. Okay, you have to pay a price for it, but then you really get a car that is up to date. As always, Volkswagen is a bit late in the segment, but also as always, Volkswagen is great with this car. That will definitely cause some headache, not only at the competition, but also internally, because there is no much need for a Polo anymore. Thank you, Tschüsschen, Seitchen, and goodbye.